Hi everyone. In today's topic, I want to discuss about social science research and whether it is for you or not. Now, if you want to do research and you are interested or you think you're interested in social science research, then you must know what it is, what you will be studying, whether it really is for you or not, whether you have the passion for it or not. Because if you have a very technical mind, if you have a mind which deals or which is more involved in mathematical modeling, maybe you are interested in engineering experiments or experiments in general, you have to be very clear how your passion can be then translated into a social science research, because social science research is more about a systematic study of human behaviors. It is about society, it is about the relationship between people, and the methods that you normally use, or it is grounded in kind of an observation or analysis or some kind of a critical inquiry. Social science normally involves fields like sociology, anthropology, political science, economics, psychology, human geography. I will talk a little bit about these and I will give you a few examples. But it basically focuses on people and society. If people and society is not something that you are very passionate about, if you don't want to know how individuals and groups think, how do they act, how do they interact, how is this behavior influenced by culture people come from, or the geographic location, or maybe the gender, maybe the levels of education, levels of economy or earning rather, what is the how do people behavior change with pay disparity. So these are areas that normally are covered in social science. Of course, there are wide areas. Like I said, I listed a few fields already, and each field can be immensely vast. So fields like psychology or economics or political science, human geography, they are vast fields. There is no end to studying these fields, but it has to be for you or not. So the research methods that normally are used in social science research are like qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methods. So when I say qualitative, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about interviews, focus groups, or ethnography, trying to understand the meanings and the experiences. Now, if you are not the kind of person who wants to go and interact with people, who wants to talk to people, who wants to find out about their experiences, then it is not for you. Quantitative includes surveys, statistical analysis, experiments, trying to identify some kind of a pattern or correlation. So when I talk about surveys, then you need to have the patience to make sure that the survey is distributed to the right population, that people fill out these surveys, the surveys are generally complete. What will you do if the surveys are not being responded to, especially if they are online surveys? What would you do if there are incomplete surveys? What is the sample size that you would go for? Who is the population that you will be targeting? So these are all things that require deep thought. So the basic purpose of social science research is to understand social phenomena that is occurring in the society, and it is very complex. It is not a very simple thing to understand. You may think as an outsider that it is a very simple thing to understand, but it is not. It is very complex. You need to inform about policies development or policies or solving real world problems. How you can develop a policy, how you can introduce certain changes that will bring about a kind of a change in the society, a change in the behavior, change in how the world views itself, or the interaction between people. You want to theorize about how societies will function, how it will change. So societies, and then there are a lot of ethical considerations in this kind of research as well, because it deals with people. So you need to follow about informed consent, about maintaining the privacy of the people, minimizing any kind of harm. When I say harm, not only physical harm, but mental harm as well, psychological harm as well. Maybe you are trying to study about sexual abuse or domestic abuse or domestic violence. These require high ethical consent. So again, you have to make sure that in your ethics application, you are meeting all the requirements of the ethics committee, and you are making sure that you follow what is expected out of you. Some of it will of course limit the scope of your research, and then you have to accept it. You cannot break the boundaries of ethical research. So ideally, some of the topics in social science could be: how does social media affect people's political opinions? So recently we had the US elections, or we had elections in Australia. We are having elections in some other countries as well. So you can go and find out what role did social media play in changing a person's or a people's opinion, the voters' opinions. You can talk about what role does culture play in mental health of the people. So mental health is has been considered a taboo topic in many cultures. So you can go and ask about how the different cultures view the topic of mental health. Has it changed over a period of time due to social media and discussions in the media? You can talk about how do gender norms influence career choices. Are women expected to follow a certain career? Are men expected to follow certain career? If men go into a career which is popularly dominated by women and vice versa, are they viewed differently by society? For example, males working as nurses or women working on ships. These have been popularly dominated by a particular gender. Now, has it changed or not? You can talk about what are the causes of income inequality, why there's a pay disparity. You could be in a sport, it could be in a particular industry, and whether how it has changed over a period of years. Has it changed for the better? Has it changed for the worse? Has it disadvantaged a certain gender? So you can talk about that as well. I mentioned about anthropology. I talked about sociology. So you have to know what anthropology is. Anthropology is a study of human beings in the past and present, focusing on the biological, cultural, social, linguistic development. How has language changed over the years? You can study that as well. So you can study living cultures, beliefs, customs, social practices. People go and study tribes in the Amazon forest. So how marriage rituals are different in societies, how language use differs across social groups. So you can think about language shapes and how language shapes and reflects culture. You can talk about how past human societies have used tools. So you can be involved in excavation of Asian cities to learn about early civilizations. You can be studying fossils. So this is again part of all anthropology, and anthropology is trying to understand human diversity, what it means to be human. So it offers insights into both old societies and new societies, modern civilizations, old civilizations. So cross cultural understanding and empathy is what you want to develop. Political science is again the study of systems of governance, political activities, institutions, laws, ideas. I have met some researchers who are very passionate about political science, and they have, after finishing their PhD, they've become part of developing social reforms, policies for the government, and introducing those policies, and often being very successful and often getting criticism for it. But if you listen to the researchers, they will tell you that the reforms they introduced, some of it was not even popular amongst people. It was based on a certain kind of research. They had their own reason for it. So talking to people like that, even if you're not interested in politics or social reforms or policy development, talking to people who have researched in this area will give you a new insight into this zone. So if you have get an opportunity, you will understand how policies are implemented into the society, why they are implemented, what benefit it causes, even though as a citizen you may look at it as probably an inconvenience to you. So, if you're studying political science, you have political theories, you have comparative politics, where you are trying to compare government across countries. You can compare the two political parties, or few political parties rather. You can talk about international relations between the governments. You can talk about public policy and administration, how policies are made, why war occurs, what are the different diplomacy strategies employed by different countries, whether they have been successful or unsuccessful. You can talk about how democracy has changed, why democracy exists in certain countries, it doesn't. How do people view justice? How do people view law? And power. How do people view political parties, or do people have aspirations to go to politics? Why not? So these are all these areas that you can study from different lenses. So social science is a wide area, because if you're studying people, relationship, behaviors, interactions, phenomena, there's no end to the study. If you study about sociology is study of societies, behavior, structure of relationships. So you can look at families, how families view education, or how societies view religion, or why there is a certain social inequality when it comes to race or gender or class of people. You can study about the class system introduced by the British in India. You can talk about culture and identity, social change and deviance. So it basically is a study of how social forces have shaped the society, our lives, how societies have evolved, how people are trying to address inequality. So political science will focus on power and governance. Sociology focuses on society and social interaction. And there are studies that you can do in cultural, so that is where anthropology come in place as well. So you can talk about, or you can study human geography. You can go and study certain cultures. Like I said, people go and study tribes in the Amazon forest. You can come and study the aboriginal tribes or aboriginal population in Australia. You can study about the Native Americans in America. So and there could be all these other issues related to them in particular. So why I made this video is because when I advertise the research projects for PhD students, prospective PhD students, I get a number of applications, and to be honest, I have to reject more than 95% of the applications, because some people want to do social science research. I'm involved in social science research, by the way, if you didn't get it already. But their background, their education, what they have studied, what they are passionate about is not aligned with social science research. And at that point of time, I often have to ask them that why are you passionate about it? Why do you want to study it? What are you planning to learn from it? How do you see this shaping your career, your future? And what is the plan? It is not only about doing the PhD, but what is the plan after the PhD? So these are questions, again, you should be asking yourself if you are planning to do a PhD or research in this area, because people are built differently. What appeals to me may not appeal to you. Now, there's lots of talk about artificial intelligence, and lots of people want to research on artificial intelligence. Now, this is not something that is I am very passionate about in terms of research. I'm passionate about learning about it. I'm passionate about using it. But if you ask me to research about artificial intelligence at this stage of my career, maybe I'm not that passionate that I will spend 3-4 years, or maybe sometimes as a part-time student 6 to 8 years researching about it. So it's all up to my own interest and what drives me, and similarly what drives you. So before going into social science research, know about social science research, know whether it is for you or not. I have many peers and colleagues of mine who like to be in laboratories doing experiments. That's all they like. They don't like to go out there, talk to people, interact with people. They are introverts. They like to do their experiments, like to study. They like to play around with data, and social science is not for them. So, and that's fine. And that is their likes and dislikes. So that is why I made this video today, because of the number of requests I get. So I hope this video is informative to you. It's educative to you. And if you have any comments, please put it in the comment section. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you soon with my next video. Bye for now.